I'm Luke Hatfield. I'm joined by our Shrewsbury Town reporter here at the Shropshire Star, Lewis Cox. It's news which all Shrewsbury fans would have been dreading.
Yeah.
I think after disappointment in the League One playoff final, there was speculation about Paul Hurst's future. Paul Hurst is gone. He's gone to Ipswich.
Yeah, quiet morning. But we expected it today. We expected it to happen soon. And the good thing is for Shrewsbury Town that it's happened quickly. Not dragged out. Personal terms sorted. Happy days. Announcement made. He's no longer Shrewsbury Town manager, so Town can formally, begin the search. Obviously, they've already had candidates apply. They've already got ideas in mind, but they can formally get on with it.
Yeah.
Because they're already behind because of the playoffs, the extension. So time to get cracking really for them and sift through what I know are a lot of applications. I've just sent out a tweet there saying what a good position they're in compared to last time. Like, yes, they lost out, but valuable assets in the playing squad, training ground, safe standing, a lot of good things to build on a foundation. So, yeah, the right man and things could be looking good again.
Certainly is an attractive job, Shrewsbury, and as you said, when Paul Hurst took over, the club was in not dire straits, but they weren't in the best nick, shall we say? But as you just said, they're a great squad now. It's a good team, one which a manager can step in, and they've obviously had their success this season. Paul Hurst has been integral to that. Can they continue this with a new manager?
Yeah,
you think it'd be a bit harder, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, let's be realistic. With the best will in the world, they are almost certainly not going to have the same season next season. But who's to say a manager could come in and work some magic a la Paul Hurst? Unlikely. But they're not at a stage where, as a club, I think Paul Hurst said a few weeks ago they jumped far too soon. They're still at a stage, for me, in my opinion, where they've just completed their third season at this division. Consolidate as a competitive club. Don't go back to fighting the drop last season. Next season, sorry. Yes, it was a freak campaign, everything went so well, but don't go back to just scrapping for your lives. Consolidate mid-table, become established, competitive. If it goes well, look for top half, that kind of thing. They got the appointment bang on last time, so they know what it takes. Brian Caldwell, the CEO, and the chairman, Roland Wycherley, so they will look for blueprints of that, evaluate the candidates, maybe take bits of what Paul Hurst had, because there are a lot of managers out there that haven't had the chance like Paul Hurst hadn't, and they've seen that it can be done now. With not big money signings. So Shrewsbury have proved that as a club they can compete, and that'll mean a lot to managers. A lot of good applications already, and I think it's a really attractive job. And to be honest, whatever gaffer gets it, and we hope it'll be an appointment that happens soon. They'll be a lucky manager because there's a lot of good things going on there. As I mentioned, a great new training ground, squad of players, Nolo, Enciala, Beckles, others, assets that are on contract, that if go will command a lot of money. It's a really good place to be for any sort of aspiring manager, I would say. Yeah,
and Paul Hurst, a man who the fans were very, dear with. He's done a phenomenal job, but does he leave under a bit of a cloud now? Because I mean, the quotes from Brian Caldwell yesterday were damning, weren't they?
Yeah.
Claims of an illegal approach from Ipswich Town. He didn't sound thrilled with Hurst as a whole. And has this put a sour note on the end of a great spell?
I mean, you only have to look at the fan reactions we just done on social media. It's mixed. A lot of people are remembering the work he's done, and that you can't overlook that. It's staggering when you take a step back and think what happened. Extra time from a place in the Championship. Unbelievable season, unbelievable 18 months, because they were only going down to League Two when Mickey Mellon left. Staggering job. Can't give him the credit for that enough. There are barely any words to describe it really. But it wasn't, in my opinion, and from what I've heard, what I understand, the exit wasn't handled brilliantly. Could have been done better. Certainly from what the chief executive has said, what went on Monday morning, no more than 12 hours after Wembley heartbreak, didn't make for good reading at all. So a shame that happened. I feel for, if the stories are true, some of the backroom staff, feel for the fans. If things weren't done legally, that's not great. But it does leave a sour taste, sadly, and he's sort of how he's remembered. Of course, it would have been better if he'd have got them up to the Championship. You'd have been like real legends. Still absolute heroes from what they've done this season, but you know, fans will remember this. A lot of fans haven't taken well to how quick the Ipswich thing came about after we all knew them. There may have been approached, but just how quick, you know, 12 hours or whatever, and the way it leaked out allegedly via an agent, not great. And it certainly has so far tarnished his image. Maybe after the months play out and people have time to take stock and the new management come in, you think, wow, you know, you remember what happened more than the exit. You know, in the sort of history books, when people read about the season, you remember the memories. And of course there are the memories, so many memories from this season, unbelievable. You know, Wembley twice. But ultimately they didn't win either, did they? And they had an amazing fairy tale season, but you know, nothing to show other than 87 points, 2 Wembley defeats. It's a shame. I wish Paul Hurst all the best. He, for 18, 19 months, nothing but a pleasure to deal with. You know, 3-4 times a week. Must have been absolutely sick of the sight of me, but yeah, I think we had a good relationship, and yeah, I'm sad to see him go. I think he'll do well. I really do. Big job for him, big opportunity. He said an opportunity too good to turn down.
Yeah, he's probably right in that respect, isn't he?
Yes, I mean, you know, no disrespect for Shrewsbury, but he'll be earning a lot more money. You know, thinking about himself and his family first of all, and securing a future. You know, 3-year contract. I mean, stability. You know, he's obviously on a 1-year rolling deal at town, but to be given 3 years by a Championship club, you know. And he only needs to get it right once. A massive step, of course, humongous step from League One to the Champ. But if he can take traits of how he's done so well and get things right at Ipswich, you know, sneaker top half, sneaker playoff, then he's close to a Premier League manager. It's, good luck to him in that. I think I've got a sneaky feeling he'll do well because he's a great manager. He's done well at every single level he's been at. Let's see what happens there. Fair play to him. Could have been handled better, yeah.
Yeah, and now, of course, the questions a lot of fans will be asking turns to who replaces Paul Hurst at Shrewsbury Town. Are there any names in the running already?
Yeah, of course, David Hopkin of Livingston, the Scottish manager, is the early heavy candidate.
Done a fantastic job of that.
Yeah, it's successive promotions, which is an unbelievable effort, especially this year in the playoffs to get back to get to the Scottish Prem. Fantastic effort. You know, he's clearly on Shrewsbury Town's radar. You know. He would be on Shrewsbury Town's radar if they didn't have a Scottish chief executive who knows Scottish football inside out. Clearly he does. He knows Hopkin and knows of the people at the football clubs. So I'm sure he'll be assessing him alongside a host of other candidates, you know, on UK patch. I've even heard that there's been candidates from abroad. Certainly no shortage of managers who would want to come out, I think, and say, yeah, I fancy this. You know, it's very attractive. You know, they just missed out this season. Probably a lot of managers that think there's something to build on. Yep. We know the loans are gone, you know, big part of the season. Dean Henderson, unbelievable goalkeeper, future Premier League goalkeeper. Ben Godfrey, future Premier League player. Carlton Morris, players like that have gone. But, you know, use the loan market again. As I said at the start of the video, valuable assets in the squad. You know, the players I mentioned. Interesting to see whether Hurst fancies dipping in back to Shrewsbury.
That's it.
But the managers on the shortlist, you know, we've seen the bookies odds. Those are interesting. The likes of bit of League One experience, which Brian Caldwell hasn't ruled out. A Juve Rosler, former Carlisle manager Curl. There are a host of names that have that experience and would see this as a really good job, I think. Certainly if you're out of work at the moment. So I know there won't be no shortage of candidates. I know how desperate the club are to do it quickly. You know, but they're not going to do it within a couple of days if it's not right, you know.
Yeah.
If it takes a couple of weeks to get it right, unfortunate, but you know, it proved with Paul Hurst 18, 19 days last time was very much worthwhile. They don't have the blessing of time this summer, so it needs to be done quickly. But you know, fans have got to have every faith of Brian Caldwell getting it right again. I've got confidence he will, and so it's good that it's all been done quickly this morning, and that the replacement search ramps up now.
There we go. So Paul Hurst leaves the Montgomery Waters Meadow for Ipswich. For the latest on him and his possible replacement, make sure you stick with us at shropshirestar.com.